So, the technology candidates are selected, and then they are installed on the farms. In most cases, on a commercial scale. In some cases, on pilot scale. In very, very few cases, this has been done at the laboratory scale, just to prove proof of concept. Very recently, there's been a bioremediation technology that PSF selected, and the laboratory work on that showed that it probably would not work for what we wanted to accomplish. We were all in agreement on that. The point is, most of these are put on the ground, on the commercial farms for PSF in the state of Missouri. That's the best way to determine environmental performance of the technology. Third, the environmental performance data is then procured. It's procured by an independent third party. A lot of this work has been done. The data has been collected by groups from Iowa State, Purdue University. The point being, it's not because we don't trust them, but to do this totally objectively, and we would do the same thing in any of our states, you have to have an independent third party collecting the data. PSF has, again, very much cooperated with that. And we have thousands of pages of data from these technologies over the past 10 years. Then the team reviews that data. We take a critical look at the data relative to the environmental performance. We visit the technology sites. We usually convene here in Missouri a couple of times a year. It's usually in the winter when it's really cold, or in the summer when it's really, really, really hot. And we go up to these farms and look at how the technology is performing. And we also receive stakeholder input. Stakeholders being the company, the state, some citizens groups, and in this case, we hope from citizens here. We welcome constructive critique in this process. We hope we get constructive critique tonight. And then we make the determination. Is it thumbs up? Is it a maybe? Does it need modification? Or is it thumbs down? And we have made those types of decisions on local technologies over the past 10 years. Well, we had to go beyond the general definition of next generation technology as it was described in the previous earlier slides that you've seen from myself and Jack. So we set, based on the descriptions of next generation technology that we have been provided by the state, we set specific environmental criteria. Water quality improvements, and we refer to this as the salient characteristics of next generation technology. Water quality improvements in terms of nitrogen, phosphorus, and pathogens. Air quality improvement in terms of odor, ammonia emission, hydrogen sulfide. Again, we felt like this was very consistent with the broad definition of that's contained within the consent judgment. And the air quality has to apply to the lagoons, the land application, and the farms. Again, being consistent with the terms and conditions of the agreement. And then finally, long-term management of phosphorus stored in the lagoon sludge. And this is taken specifically from Section 2.2 of the PSF 2007 work plan. Again, I make reference to what is available to the public in this process. PSF has a work plan that they publish each year. There's no surprises being relayed with any of this data tonight. It's all out there. It's all public domain information. The minutes and motions of this team is all public information. You can see all the good and bad of it for the last 10 years. Okay, where are we today? Well, over the course of the past decade, you can count up 18 categories of technology. Categories of technology that PSF has put on the ground and has gone through this very comprehensive evaluation process. I'll also point out with each of these, or with many of these, you could identify many different unit processes within a category of technology. For example, the Crystal Peak Farms process, the sustainable technology system. That technology has many different components to it, one of which would be high temperature anaerobic digestion, which is a wonderful technology we have learned for treating animal waste. So the point is, there's a lot more than 18. There's 18 broad categories. The ones that are outlined here in blue, through this decision-making process, the team has decided that they are either a component of or meet the criteria of next-generation technology. The ones that are in dark, for various reasons and with concurrence in many, but not all, cases with concurrence with PSF, they did not meet next-generation technology. Again, let me be clear. In most, but not all cases, we have agreement on that. The two in green. These represent technology candidates that are now under consideration, which we are receiving a lot of data that are good candidates for next generation technology. The jury's still out on that. We're encouraged by the data that we're seeing, but we'll be making decisions over the next few weeks, we hope, relative to how these components also fit into the next generation process. And just on a personal note for a moment, I find a lot of irony here, because I was involved for about a decade with a settlement agreement in North Carolina. And we had about the same number of categories of technologies for a different type of initiative. And at the end of the process, we identified about 5 that met the criteria. That process, just like this one, is taking longer than a lot of people would like for it to. But I can tell you that developing technology to treat animal waste is not a simple problem. If it was, we wouldn't be in this environment, we wouldn't be in this gymnasium tonight. It is a very challenging, scientific, political, and social issue. It's tough, it's hard, and it takes time. Again, we go through this process. We've made some decisions. Next generation technology with some caveats have been made. And if you get right to the bottom line, we have determined that the Crystal Peak Farms process is an approved next generation technology. The advanced nitrification, denitrification, so-called A&D system is a conditional next generation technology. It requires an additional component for barn odor control. We have approved biofilters for barn odor control. PSF is currently working at the urging of the team and with cooperation to develop improved systems of biofilters. A barn scraper system is a current technology that is also a candidate for barn odor control. And here again, I want to make a point relative to some misinterpretations as it has been communicated to me.